Latinos are often shaped by poverty, and frequently, even when you achieve success, sharing it becomes difficult as it leads to feelings of guilt imposed by others. What does an entrepreneur need?
First, educate yourself and learn from the best. Second, understand that you are the asset and you are the liability.
During my travels with Robert Kiyosaki, I encountered people who said, "Hey Robert, I read your book." And 10% of them said, "Robert, your book changed my life." That's you.
I remember vividly when you said to one of my colleagues, "You are a weak leader, and weak leaders won't accomplish anything." I was left frozen on the computer because I felt that message was directed to me.
Hey, folks, here we are in this new episode of Rich Dad Latino, where the money works for you. Today, I have the great opportunity to introduce to you Katya Sagastizabal. She is an entrepreneur and she changed her life. Better said, she turned a liability into a great asset. But even better, she's going to tell you about it because along the way, she faced several challenges that come from the education we receive since we are children. So if you want to know how to transform your life because you might be living someone else's dreams instead of building your own reality. Hello, Katya. Welcome.
Hi, Fernando. How are you? My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation. The truth is, you are a very inspiring human being to all the students, my classmates, who every Saturday we meet for mentoring. We experience that inspiration and that gratitude of giving, That's what it feels like on the computer. Imagine yourself here personally. The truth for me is grateful to God to be able to share with you, and not only what I learned in the mentoring, but what I actually executed, which I think is the most important thing, to execute it.
Oh, definitely. Right. Just as you feel grateful, well, I feel grateful too. Because for me to have the opportunity to be able to help you be free is living my life purpose. That is, if I didn't do this, I would feel lost because it's my time to give back to life and above all to people who like you who are willing to implement. If not, it's like watching a Netflix series. What did you think? Interesting, but it won't change your life. Changing your life is about taking action. Tell me, why did you come to mentoring?
First, I came with a super high ego. Lawyer, masters in management, masters in taxation. Well, what am I going to learn? But come on, because there was something there that hurt me. I had bought real estate in Naples, Florida, that did not have the return that really had been told me. So I said, I'm going to the best. Who are the best? I located you. Then I started mentoring. On every Saturday when I talked, the colleagues, the experiences, until one day you addressed one of the colleagues that he had a poor mind. Then I said, there's my problem, that I think in lack, that I don't think with the mind of wealth. But then I asked myself, what happened? Why is this happening? Why? It's because, of course, I come from a family of scarce resources that they always tell us, no, this is too expensive, or this we have to share. So we Latinos come with this subconscious of poverty. It is very difficult to change it. But I did it, Fernando. I did it. And when I changed that subconscious of wealth because I deserve everything, I followed your tips, applied them, and now I'm full. Basically, I'm 100% full. And I believe that education, that was the key, not only to help me generate more income, but now my whole life has changed because I already think with the subconscious of a millionaire.
Okay, sure. And the important thing that I see, we have a common denominator. We are both Peruvians, aren't we? And you said it very clearly. Latinos are raised in poverty-stricken surroundings. And many times, even when you are successful, you can't share it because if you don't, you're going to feel guilty. So, it's necessary to change many times the environment that surrounds us. Now, Katya, in this walk, for example, you must have realized that to be financially free is not to buy real estate, but rather that scarcity or abundance is you. The actions you implement, the team that surrounds you, but you came to learn how to invest in real estate. What have you found? What do you feel the entrepreneur needs?
Well, first, educate yourself and educate yourself with the best. Second, to know that you are the asset, you are the liability. In other words, ultimately, it's all in your head to really make the best decisions.
Zero ego.
Zero ego. First, you have to put your ego aside.
Second, make decisions always thinking as a millionaire. Change that scarcity chip and surround yourself.
With human beings who are really on the same vibration as you.
You have it very clear.
Because it is different when you comment, I have done this, but the one who doesn't have it is in another vibration and will never understand you. And sometimes you doubt, don't you?
And you can't even hesitate. You have to keep moving forward, trust your intuition. Why? Because you educated, you trained, you were aware, and you landed. Every lesson you gave us on Saturday on our Excel sheet,
We did it.
not only that, I would meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays with your team and I would go with my Excel sheet.
The guys would look at it.
And they'd say, this is okay.
It's a grounded mentorship because you can go one-on-one with Jose Carlos, for example, and he reviews you and tells you, no, I don't think so. After I solved the issue of what the house is, I even presented him the financial statements of the company. I have a company. And it was fantastic when a person from your team told me, you have cash flow, yes, but now I need the cash flow product by product. Me, of course, I want to know which product, which service of your company is profitable. Absolutely no one had ever told me that. Because that way you can select which product is more profitable and which product you take into the company and take care of. There are other products that ended up being unprofitable. So it allows you to make good decisions.
Exactly. And now, what you tell me is very important, this control. Not generic, but granular. Go into detail, isn't that right? And it is the real estate asset that is going to lead you to freedom. It's how you manage your investments, your entrepreneurship. And both you and I have had bad partners in life. Nobody gets away from mistakes. That's what I want to ask you. When you have a bad partner, how is your vibration? How is your energy level?
Definitely, your energy level goes down. It goes down completely. It doesn't allow you to make good decisions. You are in the vibration. Defensive, suddenly,
Worry, you're against it.
yes, you contract, and it doesn't allow you to see the wealth. And the best advice I can give is that when this happens to you, when you have a partner who all of a sudden in the beginning was the best partner in your life, but nobody knows how we human beings evolve. Some of us evolve upwards, some of us devolve downwards.
And there is a gap that is not going to be bridged.
When you have that kind of human beings, simply like Forrest Gump, turn around and run away. Even if you lose, because I finally lost, I lost.
But I gained experience.
Losing is part of winning.
Losing is part of winning.
Losing is part of winning. And in this endeavor called life, there is no one answer. That's academic. A, B, C, or D. Life is not like that. It is a journey. It's a process. So, the symptom is your energy level. It's low. That's the symptom. The root is a bad partner. It's happened to me too, of course. And then Robert Kiyosaki would say to me, it takes 5 bad ones to count one good one. I wish it was shorter on the right, don't you? Some will be that lucky, some won't. And also, if one continues to find the bad partner, the problem is yourself. That has not changed. So insane is to do the same thing 1,000 times and expect a different result. Now, once that you realize that you have to change, and as you say, I'm going to look for the best, comes what you call implementing. True or not? I saw people on my journey with Robert Kiyosaki who said, hey, Robert, I've read your book. Thank you very much. But there's 10% who say, Robert, your book changed my life. That's your case. What happened? To bring about that change, that energy that I feel it, right? I feel a cone there that connects us very powerfully. And above all, I feel your joy. Your high vibration. A few moments ago, we were having a coffee and I can feel your faith. What changed in you?
First, that I implemented. For example, when you were talking about the honor code, in which we had to make the whole company team sign a code of honor. At the beginning, sometimes there are entrepreneurs who says, what a pity. What if he leaves? What if he tells me he is going to resign? I remember clearly when you said to one of my colleagues, you are a soft leader and weak leaders are not going to build anything. I froze in front of the screen because that message felt like it even to me.
And I was a weak leader.
That I was embarrassed to tell them.
Something that they don't want to hear for fear that they might quit. But I plucked up the courage. We made the code of honor and gave it to them.
After a while, those who did not belong to the same vibration started quitting their jobs to that vibration of giving everything for the company.
Actually, it was fantastic.
A very
I
definite
said,
mission.
a well-defined mission. Everybody aligned on that same mission. Everybody aligned on the honor code. And after a few weeks, I show up in your class and I tell you, I have a problem, Fernando. I have a lot of cash flow.
High cash flow.
A lot of cash flow because the whole commercial team changed and sold. You don't know. Sold and really sold with their shirt on. Very committed to the company. And it was just that change.
Saying things clearly, you commit yourself to this, and really the results were spectacular. And I was super happy that day.
The first change was you. Yes. Because the team around you, those who don't want to sign, those who are not committed, is a reflection of the leader. When you want to know who is responsible, you have to stand in front of a mirror and say, what am I missing that I'm attracting these types of people? And then, when you want to please everyone, that's when you lose your essence. That's when you lose your essence. That step is hard. That's why success comes with the deepest loneliness. It's a lonely road when you have to face these things.
And very hard.
And very hard.
Very hard. But after that reflection, so hard, so difficult, the truth is that I cried. I cried coming out of the meeting. I cried. I mean, I am a weak leader. I am a weak leader. I can't go on.
When
I was a weak leader. I can't go on like this, and I took action.
I took action, honor code, cash flow in the company, very attentive, listening to my podcast, you.
Truth be told, very judicious about my education. And I think
you haven't asked me, but the secret to internalizing it is to listen to it permanently.
I looked like a mad woman with my headphones.
I listened until I internalized it.
And
Then comes the
finally, you
subconscious.
believe it. You arrive subconscious and you believe it. So now I speak to my children with the language of Robert Kiyosaki and Fernando Gonzalez. So much so, my 17-year-old daughter took Alejandro Cardona's course this weekend, and she is very happy.
Because, of course, in school, they don't teach her how to be financially free.
Hey, those who are in school are not either.
I don't know either.
Now, Katya, for example, you were telling me, I came from a mentality of poverty, of scarcity. At what point did you come to the realization of that fact? Since the fish doesn't realize it's inside the pool.
No, it is very difficult.
It is very difficult, but after all the sessions I participated in,
you don't realize it, but the break comes. It comes.
Your perspective changes.
It changes, and you start questioning, and you hear the experience of one entrepreneur, the experience of another, the experience of a colleague, a lady who cleans houses here. People, how did she make it? And you say, if they could do it, why can't I do it? The successes of the girl from Mexico, of her gym, of Leandro, the Argentinian, of Shang. Oh my God, Shang. The truth is that it is a success. When you say, wow, what did they do that I can do? know nothing. There you go. Very polite, very judicious, very attentive to any opportunity. To any opportunity. And when my chip changed,
I started to attract great human beings.
new partners, new projects. There's Chavin de Guantar, the movie. I mean, the truth, you can't believe it, but you attract fortune, you attract wealth, you attract super interesting projects because you have the mentality of greatness, of greatness. And those were not taught by you, and it's not overnight. I get up today, brush my teeth, and that's it. No, it's being every Saturday from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, listening, participating, attentive, writing what the hand writes in the mind. It stays exactly
Participating in the personalized coaching. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, your team follows up, we ask.
For example, one way how this is manifesting itself that you are conveying to me is the investment you have in Naples. How was it before? How is it now? Why?
initially, well, it was only full in the high season, 4 months, the season.
I mean, out of the 12 months.
4 was
Four
an
was.
asset and 8 was a liability.
So
I asked you and you said, well, what you have to do is contact the specialists.
I contacted the specialist. They went home. You have to change this, improve it, the experience.
Buy a ping pong table, buy hammocks, buy. So I said, but for what?
More spending.
Increased cost.
Because it can scare you, I will also spend more.
Yes, that's right. And to the person you mentioned, but no, that is considered an expense. A popcorn machine, a television of I don't know how many inches, a small jacuzzi outside in Lene.
Fernando,
The house is fully booked.
All year round.
exactly, because they are already specialists, but with a poor mind.
I did that.
I bought the cushion myself. I managed it myself. You played.
Oh, you were trying to avoid losing and you ended up losing. And when you play to win, what happens?
Yeah, you win.
You have
win.
to structure. You have structured the team well.
Structure. The first
Structure.
thing you tell us, structure. And the right people are going to give you the structure and qualified. Because sometimes we make the mistake, many entrepreneurs. This one is worth less to me. So therefore, I believe that it will fit the bill. No, gentlemen, it is not like that. I tell you from experience, it is necessary.
Good things cost. It's an investment.
It is an
The
investment.
downside is an expense.
Then they end up prosecuting you for labor issues. It's happened to me in the company. You end up hiring personnel who are not suitable, and then you find yourself facing labor lawsuits. It's a real headache on top of that. But that is the big
of course we
mistake
are.
we make because we are always thinking about what we lack.
Of course we are. When you connect with people for your team of low vibration, of low preparation, you are already in that world. So the problems that you are going to have are from that world. And we are not talking in terms of the racial terms or in terms of discrimination, but how the person himself disqualifies himself for, instead of continuing to climb the ladder, they take refuge in resentment. And then come the problems you mentioned, but it happens to all of us. No one is free of that. Why? Now in this process, for example, we have talked about the Naples case. You also have an investment in San Isidro. I think you are also looking at it with Andres Gonzalez, right? How is the San Isidro case?
Same. It was temporarily empty, but then I was introduced to the designers. They told me we have to change this and put a beautiful grill. These changes will make the guest feel good, make it like a luxury stay.
And we really listened, and now it's full to capacity.
Now, there is something interesting in this that you mentioned to me, both Naples and San Isidro. When you meet a successful leader, who is he surrounded by?
Wow. The best.
There it is.
The best. Yes.
Top of the line, I
Yes.
mean talent.
Of talents. Of talents. And one of the things, one of the blessings that this mentorship has is that you share it. You're not selfish.
No, of course you're not.
You grab and say, well, contact him, contact the marketing guy. if you have a people management issue with such and such a person, you want to do an oil investment or such and such gold investment, I mean, you share it. Sometimes it's hard to find those mentorships where you share your learning with each other. You're learning because we save ourselves a year of fumbling around. I mean, that's important.
My job is to give speed to you and to all the entrepreneurs in our team, right? So there, for example, you tell me that from the property, in this case, San Isidro, this person, Andres Gonzalez, who falls to the designer, another person from
Yes.
the team. We are not dealing with one person, but with a winning team.
And not only that, they manage with an automated system that sees the prices that the guest can actually pay before I would go into my application and set the price. Now a software does it. I mean, and that software checks how the whole market is.
The market, supply, and so on.
Supply and demand. I was never going to be able to do it. I would set the price that I thought,
That's good.
and that's not the way it is. So you have
Right,
to
right.
get in touch with the best team. The one with
Thank
the
you.
best software, the one with the best designer, whoever has the best Airbnb management, and that's it. And I'm already at peace in Miami, enjoying myself.
Enjoy. Because you've earned it. Because you've earned it.
Yes.
You've heard me say several times that success is not physical, but metaphysical. Because when you focus on you, is what you know. It is limited. But when you focus on us and rely on the resources of those who know how to do it well, there comes the leap to the next level. That's why it's metaphysical. For example, when I first met Robert Kiyosaki, I had 20 years of experience in logistics, and Robert had 32 years of experience in financial education. But I didn't have the financial training. From a motivational perspective, he was an entrepreneur, but he didn't have the right tools or skills to make it work. So when I leaned on him and the team around him, boom, comes the quantum leap. Likewise, when I have the opportunity to manage projects with Alejandro Cardona, isn't it true? There are also talents around. He is a very methodical person, very disciplined, with great talent. And when you surround yourself with people who know more than you do about the task at hand, then it becomes much easier to make decisions.
I totally agree, Fernando.
I feel grateful for the people now that you helped us to contact.
They are already managing the Airbnbs. I'm here doing my business, what I really love, because it was a headache.
Right.
Because you were always thinking,
I bought the investment. Why doesn't it come back? Liabilities create stress. That's right. Therefore, when you eventually recommend us to the appropriate individuals, they are the ones managing them now. I don't see anything at all. They only provide me with the results at the end of the month, and that's all there is to it.
and I focus on what I really love to do, right? Which is the work, the company. Still, continuing to create assets, taking advantage of opportunities because I have a different mentality.
Now, with what you earn, you invested in assets. Before,
Exactly.
you invested it in liabilities.
Liabilities. Now I'm waiting for the opportunity. You told us, let's wait. After the takeover, see what we do. And there I am, but preparing myself. I'm not sitting around waiting.
Of course.
No, preparing myself, reading, listening, really psyching myself up that when the opportunity comes up, the first one that's going to come jumping out to hit that opportunity is me. Because you've already prepared me. I've already been prepared. All your team, all your teammates, a great added value to listen every Saturday, every case, and you learn.
Of course you do.
With each one, with each experience of one of the colleagues, you learn. If you internalize it, you say, this is happening to me. And the answer you gave to the partner, that's for me. And if you implement that, it ends up being a virtuous circle that makes you actually have the results that I had.
Right.
Like I told you, positive results.
This podcast is a presentation of Rich Dad Media Network.